Hello mga katribu and welcome to another episode of PairFect. I'm Francine.
I am Dinah. Before we introduce our guest, though, I'd like to ask Francine, what's your favorite sports?
Oh, actually it's obstacle course racing and I've been joining those Spartan races and running.
Oh,
But I miss, because of the pandemic, I miss running in races.
you used to race, right?
Yes.
buti
But
ka pa.
I'm not an athletic type. It's really more of a leisure athlete.
Okay. Ako may sport din.
Yes.
Surfing.
Wow.
Sa ano lang.
Okay then.
Or TV.
Oo, the hand muscles are
Yeah, the
being conditioned and
exercise.
strengthened.
Anyway, so kasi the reason I asked is our guest for today is not just an athlete, but an ice hockey bronze medalist in the 2019 SEA Games
Oh, yeah.
and a businessman at the same time.
Wow. Talk
So-
about work-life balance.
I know.
And I also heard that he manages a poultry farm in Batangas, where he's based right now, no?
Galing. So interesting. So today we'll get to know him more. Let us welcome Sam Torres Aquino-Bengzon.
Hi, Sam.
Welcome to PairFect.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes. Are you in Batangas right now?
Yes, right now, I'm in Tanawan.
Yun nga eh.
Grabe,
Nice. Where my father is also from. So we have
Okay.
something in common.
Hello,
Yeah. Sam, we're now in the last quarter of the calendar year and we'd like to know how does a well-accomplished man like you face the pandemic, especially during year 2 of the pandemic. What was it like for you?
So, first of all, thank you for saying that I'm well accomplished. Anyway, actually, for me, being self-accomplished is it's a relative thing. You know, it's really there's no gauge for being self-accomplished, right? If you agree. So it's really during the pandemic, we had a lot of downtime. You know, we couldn't go out of our house. We couldn't pretty much do anything. So it's really up to you if you were able to make the most out of your time. Whether for let's say for the first few months of the pandemic, we weren't able to go outside. We weren't able to go to work. So there's only so much you can do during those times, right? So how do you become? You know, how do you make use of that certain time, that downtime? So for me, I was able to watch out for my health. I was able to train a bit more at home, obviously, because can't go out. I was able to spend lots of time with my family. Although I wasn't able to spend time with my parents, I was calling them daily. I was able to call my relatives from abroad, you know, asking them how they were and stuff like that. More time for for your personal self rather than thinking about your business and all of those other stuff. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I was able to work on myself, if that really answers your question. No?
Yes, I think we can all relate, no?
Yes,
Parang just the change that it brought to our lives just gave us more time to reflect also and spend time with family.
Yeah.
But okay, let's talk about the beginning of your sports career as an ice hockey athlete. When and how did it start?
That's a while back, no? It started out maybe in the early 2000s, I think. I was in SM South Mall. That was that was one of the ice rinks that was first made here in the Philippines. I was skating around, and then one of the coaches went up to me and asked, you know, would you be interested in playing ice hockey? So I said, yeah. So I went to their practice. I was able to talk to some of the players. I actually don't remember how old I was at that time, maybe 12 years old, something like that. And then the kids that were there, I just remember them to be very welcoming, very warm. So I tried it out, and then yun, diretso na yun until I kept on playing until high school. I stopped during college. Decided to focus on my studies, and then focus mostly on my studies. Sorry. Of course, you have to have some fun, no? And then during 2017, I think I stopped for about 4 years. During 2017, one of my teammates back when I was a kid, he said, the sport's getting pretty, progressive. We're starting to get the support we need from the government. So why don't you give it a shot? Sabi ko naman, in my mind, I was pretty scared, knowing that there have been a lot of players who've been wanting to play for the national team. So, but then after some convincing from my friends, I was convinced to go back, and then I was in the training pool. And then 2018, we had a tournament in Malaysia. Thankfully, I was chosen to play in that tournament. And then we had another training pool for the SEA Games. And then thankfully again, I was chosen to play in the SEA Games. And there, my dream as a professional athlete came true. Yeah.
Were you always athletic, or how were you raised as a very sporty child?
Yeah, I was always into sports. Ever since I could remember, maybe since I was 7 years old, I was on my bike. I would go mountain biking. Played whatever sport you asked me to, basketball, soccer, all of that. I also played baseball during high school. I was also baseball varsity. At the same time, I was playing hockey. So I guess you can say I was pretty interested in sports.
Yeah. Would you say you have a who mentored you into sports? Is it your parents or someone from the family?
It was my dad. Actually, my mom and my dad. You know naman that obviously ice hockey isn't a regular sport that's played by any kid here in the Philippines, right?
Right.
So for someone to play a sport like that, it can't just, especially at my age at that time, you're a kid, this is it's an expensive sport. So you'd have to have the support from your parents. So thankfully, thank you to my mom and dad. Thank you for supporting me through that journey. Yeah.
Wow, I can imagine the practices, no? Yung a 12-year-old kid na hinahatid sundo ng parents to the stadium. Kaya nga eh. So, Sam, what do you think are the challenges in playing a sport that is not common in the Philippines? Well, it's a winter activity and we're in a tropical country. Ano ba yung mga challenges and requirements?
Ice, ganun.
Oo.
So, obviously, it's the accessibility, right? We only have 1 or 2 ice rinks here in the Philippines. Well, in Manila, at least in Manila. Meron naman yata sa Cebu, and I think in other cities meron din yata. But in the Philippines, we only have 2 or 3 currently, and only 1 is actually playable for ice hockey. That's Mall of Asia. So for our practice, for example, in training for the SEA Games, obviously the ice rink has to be open for the public, right? It is owned by a private company, the ice rink. So we are not really supported by the owner of the ice rink, if I may say. So we would have to have our practice late at night. So our practices we would go to practice 10 p.m. We would end 12 midnight, get home around 1 p.m. because syempre we'd eat with our teammates, have some session talking right after practice outside the mall. So that was the tough part. It's not like other countries, they can have practice in the morning, they can have another practice at night. It wasn't like that for us. We would only have a certain amount of time, very limited time, for us to be able to train.
Oh.
That's the most challenging part.
This was in 2017, the beginning of 2017.
Yes.
The kind of the schedule that you're talking about right now.
Yeah. But even when we were kids,
Ganun.
when we were kids, we would also play abroad. You play in Hong Kong, you play in Malaysia. This was not supported by the Philippine government. The how we got to those tournaments were pretty much shouldered by our parents, by our families and supporters. So yeah, before when we were kids, our practices would be at 6 in the morning till about 8 in the morning before mall opening. Tapos pag open ng mall, dun na pupunta na yung mga public skaters, the ones who just want to ice skate. So it would be closed for us hockey players already.
Sam, tell us a little bit about the team. Like, gaano ba kadami kayong ice skaters in the Philippines who are doing this?
Ice hockey players?
Yes, ice hockey.
Oh, there are a lot. Maybe in Manila alone, maybe there are a few hundreds. A few hundreds actually. The ones that were aspiring for the national team, I would say about 50 guys, 50 to 70 guys. It's been a while, if I'm correct. And they only get 30 in the lineup.
Okay.
They get 30 in the lineup, but only 20 get to play in the actual tournament.
Okay. So, dami pero konti lang yung mix. Okay. So, Sam, take us back to that winning moment in 2019. How was the experience winning in the SEA Games? Bronze, di ba?
Actually, the bronze medal is just I would say it's just icing on the cake. The pretty much the whole experience of representing your country. That was already the winning moment. You know, to be able to represent a sport that wasn't born here in our country. You know, it's not something that the Philippines would ever be known for. It's not something the Philippines would ever be known for, ice hockey. So, yun lang, para lang ma-represent yung country natin. That's for me. That is the winning moment for me.
Siyempre,
Just to
malaking
be
bagay
there,
yun.
di ba? Tsaka,
Yeah.
you go through
Very rigorous discipline
Yes.
di ba? Just to train, and I mean the mindset also.
Yeah. And to be able to play most of the people I played with during SEA Games, I played with them since I was young. So
at least
it's like, you know, parang, right now we're here. Before we were just
play.
some random kids playing ice hockey. Didn't really know what we were doing, and now we're actually playing the game,
Galing.
representing our own country.
Did you get emotional during that time? Are you that
Oh, yeah,
type of
for sure.
athlete?
Just thinking about it actually is already, you know, it gives me goosebumps already just thinking about the whole experience.
Wow. Sino ba nanalo nun? Who got gold, silver, and then Philippines bronze?
It was Thailand. Thailand won, and then Singapore won second.
Grabe, no? Puro tropical Southeast Asia. Tapos may ice hockey tayo.
They have very good players. They also have very good programs for their athletes.
Yun.
Sam, how has the pandemic affected your sports career?
So for my ice hockey career, it affected it pretty bad. You know, we obviously the malls aren't open. There is no open ice skating rink. There hasn't been any open ice skating rink for the past 2 years, I think. So obviously we haven't been on the ice, but you know, I still continue to train at home. I try to stay healthy. We can practice we call it stick handling drills. We just practice at home, but that's pretty much as much as we can do. There's no way you can have your own ice skating rink at home. No? Hindi talaga siya kaya. You can just watch videos. That's pretty much it. So there has been no ice hockey for me. But during the pandemic, I got into cycling, and then thankfully there was a bike shop, Wheelworks Bike Shop. Thank you for taking me in. So I was part of their family. So I've been cycling pretty much the whole pandemic already, and that's what I've been enjoying for the meantime.
Hinahanap talaga ng katawan, no?
So talagang
Yeah.
training ka muna ng endurance, strength, and conditioning, no? Well,
Yeah.
it's ano ba to? Parang off-season training.
Very long off season.
Very long off-season, exact 2
You have to
years.
be, to keep yourself in shape, di ba?
Oo. So nag-create ka rin ng home gym sa bahay?
Yes, yes. I've always had a home gym because I'm also a fitness coach. I'm a CrossFit coach. So
Oh my
Oh, that's
goodness.
another topic we could talk about, right?
Is there a particular gym where you teach o online ka? Mas biglang magti-train na tayo.
before the pandemic, we had our CrossFit gym. It was called Central Ground CrossFit. It was in BGC. Sadly, we closed because of all the, during these days it's like, oh, you're allowed to open, and then next thing you know, you have to close. Next thing you know, you can open again. So it was just too much for us to think about. So unfortunately, we had to park that idea. But I'm not saying that we're not going to open again in the future. But for now, it's the business is parked on the side.
Okay, Sam, I want to know more about all these things that you do other than sports. But before we talk about that, we'll just pause for a short break. We'll be right back.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Magandang araw mga katribo! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelovelo, Comfy Manalo, Atty. Lia Badillo Crisostomo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas ng mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan natin ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments ng aming programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube. Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Welcome back to PairFect. I'm Dinah Ventura and I'm here with Francine Marquez. And we are talking with a young athlete and businessman, Sam Torres Aquino-Bengzon. Welcome back, Sam. Okay, so before we took a break, I was going to ask you about the things that you do other than sports. So you own and manage an agri-poultry farm. And you used to own a bar in BGC also. Can you tell us more about your business ventures?
So the bar that we used to have in BGC was called Puzzles Board Game Lounge. It was more like a restaurant that had board games, and you can chill, have some food and snacks while playing your traditional board games. And then you can also have some drinks. So we had 2 branches, one in BGC, one in Alabang. And then right now, I currently manage agricultural farms here in Tanawan, Batangas. We are an egg layer farm. So we supply eggs to bakeries, to cafeterias, to the palengke, and some households. And during the pandemic, we were also able to start another business called A Farms naman. This is meat trading. So it's like an online grocery wherein it's a community-based business. So it's like, for example, in a certain village, we would have a dealer, and then we supply that dealer meat, and then they would be the ones to distribute and sell to his or her neighbors. Yeah.
Nice. Grabe, no?
Yeah.
So busy.
Oo.
Parang you never stop doing anything. There's always something.
And especially since right now we need all the fresh farm produce that we could use, no?
Pero pansin ko yung galing ng ideas niya eh. Parang like
Tsaka community-based which is what we need while people are in quarantine most of the time, no?
Exactly.
Yeah. Sam, as an athlete and handling business also requires a lot of attention and discipline, di ba? How do you keep your work-life balance considering that you're also a family man?
Well, my dad always would tell me about time management. Everything is about time management. So I would have set days on which one I would prioritize on this certain day. Obviously, every day I try to have an hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour on working on myself. I wake up, I work out. After that, I spend time with my kids. For one of my businesses, A Farms, actually, my wife was the one that started that during the pandemic. So working together is actually, it's also like we're bonding. I've known my wife since we were in grade school. So parang barkada talaga kami. We were friends before we were intimate. So stuff like this, parang ano na siya eh. Ito na yung bonding namin ng wife ko eh. So, doon naman sa kids ko, at least 1 hour to 2 hours a day, 1 hour in the morning, an hour at night before going to bed, I get to spend time with them. I make sure of that. If I have breaks in between the day, I spend time with my kids also. So, it's really about time management. Whether you can squeeze in a few things. Yeah.
Ang cute naman ng kids mo.
How old are your kids? How old are your kids?
Right now, I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Oh, so how do you spend time with them, your family?
Oo, lalo na quarantine. They can't go out yet.
Ano sila?
Unless sa Batangas, I don't know what's the situation.
No, bawal pa rin dito. You can't go out here also. So usually we're just I spend time with them at home. My 6-year-old, thankfully he likes to work out. So for example, yesterday I had a workout with him. We worked out for about 30 minutes. Well, he worked out for about 30 minutes, and after he was tired, I continued to go on by myself. And then my 2-year-old naman, typical baby, you just tickle, stuff like that.
Takbo-takbo lang siya.
Oo.
You just...
Naglalakad na yan, at that age?
Yes.
Nako, yun.
I just give them my attention. That's for a 2-year-old, that's what's important. That they know that the parents are giving attention to them.
Do you want them to get into sports also?
Oh yeah, for sure. No doubt.
Any particular sport in mind? Like, would you want them to do ice hockey also, or?
Actually, my 6-year-old, since he was 4, he was already playing ice hockey. He was being coached already by one of my teammates. He was actually getting pretty good. I mean, he knew how to skate. He knew how to go around, and we called our ball the puck.
Yep.
He was able to handle the puck well. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, he had to stop. So right now, to be honest, I don't know what sport they're gonna get into. There's really not much options. Sometimes we dribble a basketball outside our house. We don't have a ring, so dribble lang, yun lang. But yeah. As of now, it's not clear yet what I want them to play.
As a parent, what do you think are the advantages of teaching kids sports early?
Well, first of all, it's for their health, no? I think we can all agree that it's important we have to stay healthy during these days.
Yep.
Also, it teaches them their leadership skills, how to interact with other kids. That's very important. Also, it gives them when you play a sport, you have a sense of direction. You, for example, basketball. You learn how to dribble first, and then you learn how to dribble while running. Then you learn how to dribble, those crossovers. Then you learn how to shoot. There's a whole system. So it's not like you grab a basketball, then you shoot, and then you're a good basketball player right away. That's me and my kid working out.
Alam mo, what I'm learning from you right now is that it's really important for parents to be role models when it comes to fitness for their kids, di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi other than, I know some kids na they were not really raised in an environment where there is consciousness in terms of being healthy. So, okay lang mag-play ng computer the whole day. But I guess it's really the parents who start as the first role models in health and fitness.
Yeah, it's really like how do they say it? Monkey see, monkey do, right? Your kids see you work out, they'll be like, I'm gonna work out also. If your kids see you on the iPad or on your cell phone the whole day, they'll be on their iPad and the cell phone the whole day also. So it's really what you show them. That's the example that you give to your kids. No?
Yes. And I think, you're very lucky because you're based in Batangas, and I'm sure there's plenty of space for engaging in physical activities and sport. Dito kasi, di ba, you have to go to the mall to,
Yeah.
everything is restricted.
Especially for those that live in condos.
Right.
Yes. Oo. Cooped up sila doon.
So, lucky kids you have.
Oo. Pero Sam, with your current stature in life, talk about a well-rounded person.
Oh, at such a young age.
What else is there? What else are you aiming for? What are the things that you still want to aspire for?
Well, right now I want to be a public servant. Okay, so
Service naman.
sorry.
Service.
Public service, yeah. So right now I want to be a city councilor here in Tanawan.
Oh.
Yeah. My lola was the mayor here in Tanawan before, so I just like I said, monkey see, monkey do. Since I was kids, I lived with my lola. I would go with her whenever she would be in the city hall, and it was a big influence to me. So that is my next step in life. I'm not saying I'm going to let go of everything else. I'm just saying that this is another journey for me. And during right now that there's a pandemic, especially here in Tanawan, where Taal was also, they were affected by Taal eruption. There was just a lot of how do I say it? I was more inspired to help other people.
Yes. What are your advocacies as maybe for running as councilor? What are the particular advocacies that you want to push for?
Well, obviously, here in Tanawan, there are a lot of great athletes here in Tanawan. Very, very good athletes. Baseball, taekwondo, basketball. And I know that I can... There are a lot of things I can do to help them with their career. To help them excel in their career, to help them go to a good college, maybe to even be professional athletes. So I really want to help in that area. And then also with, how do you say, hanap buhay? With
livelihood?
with their livelihood.
Yeah.
Coming from, I'm a businessman. I come from a family of businessmen as well. So I think I can give a lot of help in that sector. Hopefully be able to find people jobs, find investors that would be open to starting business here in Tanawan. Yeah.
Galing. Kailangan natin yan.
Oo, nice vision, giving back. Giving back to your community.
At saka to do so at the local level, that really, if a lot more politicians or public servants would do that, then all over the Philippines, we're all gonna progress together. Pero Sam, parang you've accomplished so much in your young life. So, but looking back at your journey, is there anything that you regret? Is there anything that you wish you had done?
Ang lalim naman ng tanong.
Kasi parang lahat na dinaanan niya na. Nag-athlete na siya, nanalo na siya, nag-businesses na siya, iba-ibang business, and now he's on to the next level. Ano ba? Do you look back and then say, ano pa ba? Ganon.
Before I became a businessman, I was in banking. No, I was in banking for about 2 years. Maybe if I was to add something, I don't have any regrets with what I did, but maybe I could have added a little more work experience when it came to the corporate side, no. I was in banking for 2 years. I think I could have maybe stretched it out a bit, maybe to another 2 years, 4 years, something like that. That's pretty much it. You know, I honestly don't have any regrets. I was just thinking if I could improve on something, because that's where I learned. That's where I learned the system. And that's when you work for a corporation, you adapt to what they do in the corporation, right? You follow what they do, how they work. So that's how I was able to adapt to the businesses that we started. So I think, and when we started those businesses, medyo nanguhula pa rin kami ng mga partners ko. Although my partners were really good, to be honest. But on my end, may mga times na hindi ko talaga alam yung gagawin. So I think if I maybe had a little more work experience in the corporate world, then maybe I would have had answers to those questions that I had during the start of my business, my entrepreneurship career.
Yan, okay. Pero at least you learned by experience.
Sabi nga nila minsan experience is our Harvard School of Business. Yeah, we want to ask you a lot more questions, but you'll have to pause for a commercial break first. We'll be right back.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, The Daily Tribune special coverage. Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, The Daily Tribune special coverage.
Welcome back to PairFect. I'm Francine and I'm with Dinah, and still with us is Sam Torres Aquino-Bengzon. Hello, Sam. Welcome back. We're having a chill chat with him on his business and his sports life.
And family life.
And cute kids. And now for this segment, we'll play a photo game where we trolled your social media account, Sam. We took some photos from your Instagram and we'd like to tell us more about each picture.
Yun.
Ito na yung
Show and
lagot ka portion. Joke lang.
Okay, let's start. First picture. Yan. Oh, the bike.
Right, so, this is a picture of, that's my bike, the green bike. Like I said, during the pandemic, I got into cycling, and I have been adopted by a bike shop, Wheelworks Bike Shop. Thank you so much. yeah, so that's me getting my bike serviced. When I have time, I try to go on rides with my friends. Obviously, you have to take care of your bike also. They say, a clean bike is a fast bike. So that's me getting my bike cleaned.
Okay.
Ano, is it within Tanawan or you traverse in other parts of the...
They actually just opened a new shop in Alabang. It's in Block 10. So if any cyclists are watching this, go ahead and visit Wheelworks Bike Shop in Block 10, Philinvest.
Yun. Ang ganda ng kulay ng bike niya.
Pero ano yung ruta mo when you go cycling?
Well, I go everywhere. Sometimes you go to Antipolo, sometimes you go all the way to Nasugbu.
Wow.
Wherever we can ride, we go. As long as there's a road.
Your wife also bikes? Sabay kayo?
No, she doesn't. No.
So you just have a group of, parang may cycling group that you
we have a
ride with.
cycling
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ayan.
Ito na sila. Speaking of which,
So this was a 221-kilometer ride.
my God.
I think we did the whole time elapsed for this ride was about 12 hours. 12 hours on the bike.
Grabe.
We went from Alabang all the way to Cavite, all the way to Nasugbu, to Tagaytay, to Laguna, and then back to Alabang.
Wow, hardcore. May mga breaks ba kayo dyan? What do you do when you have to take a break?
We just go to, like I said, to sari-sari store or 7-Eleven. Then we have water, have a snack. We don't sit for a long time. Yeah.
Hindi ka katulad ng iba. Hindi kayo katulad ng iba. Food trip pala eh.
No.
I've seen those.
Meron mga ganun talaga.
Kayo seryoso.
Pwede rin yun, di ba? Masaya din yun.
We also do that. You know, may mga ride din kami na just to get out, we ride to a coffee shop or Lomi. We go for Lomi.
Lalo ng Batangas, di ba? Coffee and Lomi.
Tawag namin ng Lomi ride. Sakay lang kami sa bike, pero maglo-Lomi lang talaga. And then, babalik na kami sa bahay.
Okay yun.
Okay yun. Burn agad ang calories pabalik.
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Okay, so this was my Lola's birthday. She's the one that I was saying that she was the mayor of Tanawan before. This is us visiting her after months of not seeing them. Actually, you can see na hindi pa rin kami lumalapit. So, ayoko na sabihin yung age ng lola kasi magagalit siya sa akin pag sinabi ko yung age niya.
Ageless.
Ageless siya. But yeah, these days we have to stay safe and, you know, as much as you want to hug them, stuff like that, you know, it's better to be safe na lang than sorry, no?
What did she tell you when you said that you wanted to run for councilor?
She was very happy about it, actually. She knew naman that ever since I was involved with her campaigns, so she saw it. I'm sure she saw it in me. That it was something I wanted to do.
Ayan. Si Papi Sam. Joke lang.
Alright, so this was, so actually you see the one on the left, yung panganay ko, the older one. I actually gave him that haircut. Yeah, this was during the pandemic. ECQ yata April 29. This is ECQ, no?
Oo, yes.
ECQ yan. So, ako yung nagupit sa kanya niyan.
Lifting
So we just wanted to take sorry?
Lifting weights ka dyan.
Yeah.
Anyway, ang cute naman.
Oo nga eh. Ito, of
family
course.
pic. Oh, nice. Saan to? Balisin.
This is in Balisin. This is during our family reunion. So if you see on our T-shirt, it's ART. Those are the family names of our clan. That's Aquino, Rafer, and Torres. We went to Balisin as a whole family, and then Yeah, I actually miss having family gatherings like this.
Yeah.
Usually we would go out of town or wherever. All of us cousins, all of the titas, all of the lolas. So it's been a while since we've done that.
Kaya yun. Nakakamiss.
So ngayon, ano ba, Zoom parties na lang ba kayo?
Pretty much. So, yeah. We do have some family members who are not so scared of COVID. So, yeah, minsan we get to see each other, have some drinks, but as a big
Clan.
one big
Reunion.
clan, it's been a while.
Wala pa, no? Nakakamiss
been a
nga.
Oo,
diba?
diba?
Yung mga kwentuhan, reminiscing, ganyan.
Anyway, yan. Wow.
Oh,
Eto na.
This was the winning our recognition. or-
yeah. So this was when we went to Malacanang, and then we were able to meet our president, and he gave us that award, the Order of Lapu-Lapu. Only, if I'm not mistaken, only a few people were ever given this award. So these were given to all the medalists of the SEA Games. So I'm very honored to have faced our president during that time. Yeah, it was an unreal feeling to be there, especially for anyone to be able to face the president. No, it's a great honor to be able to face the president. So
And rare,
I'm very
no?
grateful for that experience.
Yeah.
Napansin ko sa peak form mo yun, ah.
Kakawin lang
Naka-bulk,
eh.
bulked up ka doon.
Fresh from the, sila.
Oo.
Oh yeah, so this is during SEA Games. Yeah, if you can see in the background, the logo of the SEA Games was there. Which is probably, I don't remember if this was before or after a game. Maybe before, because I don't have helmet hair yet. Medyo maayos pa yung buhok ko. So, before pre-game yan, usually during the pre-game, we warm up as a team, and then we're given a few minutes to go see our family. They say good luck, say a prayer with the family. So that was a picture probably before we said a prayer with my family. No?
Gusto ko yung caption niya, grateful.
Grateful, yeah. They would my well, yeah, that's with my fans, no?
Oo nga, literally.
Oo, ano yan?
This was after a game. Obviously super tired. Wala, we were just fooling around para lang may post sa Instagram.
My fans.
Oo nga, cute.
Wala na, umalis na kasi yung audience eh. So, hindi na lang yung fans na iikot sa akin.
Wala ng tao. Okay.
Oo. Ito pa.
That's
What's that?
me,
And
Tiago, my son, and Peter, our turtle. He's an African sulcata tortoise, actually.
wow.
We adopted him when he was about the size of a keyboard mouse. So, like this
Ang
size.
laki.
Like this, he was about this size when we got him. I wanted something to give to my children that would last longer than me.
Oo.
Oh,
So,
that's nice.
The turtle would live up to about 80 to 100 years old. So, wala na ako, nandiyan pa rin siya.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice one.
But this picture was during Calais Games. So, this is a CrossFit event
Oo.
where only X number of people would qualify. We had participants from Malaysia, Hong Kong, even Australia, from different countries that went here to the Philippines. This was in Quezon City. So this was a picture during one of the events there. Yes, I was also a competitive CrossFit athlete at one point.
Grabe.
Oo, grabe sa biceps, ha? Grabe sa mga arms. Oo. Pero ngayon parang slim ka. Is it parang nag-reconfigure ka ba ng katawan mo? Because it's off-season?
Well, right now, I don't get to. I obviously don't get to watch my nutrition as much as in like before. So since before I was competing as an athlete, I would monitor everything from what I ate to what I drank every single day. No, it would be in a log in my phone or in a notebook. Lahat yan nakasulat. Obviously ngayon, I'm not preparing for anything, so you know, I don't want to kill myself logging in things that wala naman akong pinapaghandaan. No? Yeah.
Oh, ito na.
This is the last
What is
picture.
this?
This is the last picture, 2019. Okay, 2019, this was the fittest of the Philippines elite division. I was first runner-up.
Yeah, I remember that fittest in the Philippines.
Wow.
So actually, noong 2019 na yan, I was having second thoughts on joining this competition. So we were already preparing for the SEA Games. I wasn't really able to focus on the CrossFit side of my athletic career. But after some convincing, my friends said, kaya mo pa yan. They believed that I could place, no? So I had, I think, 3 months to train for it. 3 months to train for it. So I trained hard. Lifted heavy weights kasi during hockey season, hindi kami pwede masyado magbuhat ng mabigat eh. It's gonna slow us down on the ice. We have to be, you know, agile for ice hockey. We have to be agile. So medyo parang hindi naman sa kinalimutan ko yun, but changed goal just for a little bit. And then, yun, thankfully I was able to bag the first runner-up in that competition.
Grabe.
I think that was my last CrossFit competition that I joined before the SEA Games, before the whole pandemic thing.
Grabe pala, may consideration pala yung weight mo,
yung
no?
physique. Yung physique din, ano?
Can't be too heavy in one. The other one, you have to bulk up.
Yes. Strength, yung isa
Ay,
siguro
hirap
strength-based, yung isa endurance siguro, no?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So different programs, different ways of eating. It's a very, very complicated process, no? Pero I enjoy doing it. That's why I do it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy.
Kaya naman, yung mga atleta natin, we have so much respect for them, for their time, dedication, discipline, di ba?
Oo, it takes a lot.
Yeah, iba talaga ang atletang Pinoy.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Sam, for sharing your stories sa mga pictures na yon that we found in your Instagram. So before we end the show, can you give us your parting shot for our viewers?
First of all, I want to thank you guys for having me. I was actually shocked, no, when I was asked to do this this Zoom interview. This is an interview.
Yes.
Our talk show. Yes, I'm very happy to be part of your PairFect show. Thank you for having me. And for the viewers out there, you can follow me on Instagram, Bengzon Torres Aquino. Same with my TikTok and Facebook. And for those athletes that that have dreams to be a national athlete for the Philippines, I know right now it's a difficult time for everyone, but just keep on training. One day you're gonna have one day you'll have your chance, no? So good luck. And thank you.
Okay, keep going. Ganun
Oo
yun.
nga eh. And,
Keep going.
yeah, and good luck, Sam, also. Thank you for joining us today and for sharing your story with us.
It really has been a
Thanks so much.
delight to have you in the show, and we hope to see more of you in our next episodes.
All right. Thank you guys. Thanks so much, Dinah and Francine.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Watch PairFect live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and on Tribune Now on YouTube for the replay of the latest edition.
I am Dinah.
And I am Francine.
And
This has been PairFect.